Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Chapter I Have a Dream. Question answer. First question. Who does Dr. King refer to by the epithet Great American? Answer. Martin Luther King refers Abraham Lincoln, who was an American president, was stood for the rights of the Negroes. The Negroes were denied human rights. They had been suffering from social injustice, oppression, and segregation. He signed a momentous decree of emancipation proclamation as an executive order. This decree served as a great beacon light of hope to millions Negroes slaves. This was a ray of hope for the Negro slaves who had long been captives of the white. Question number two. Who, how does King describe the life of the Negroes in the U.S. and 100 years after Emancipation Proclamation? Even 100 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, the Negroes submitting, were stumbling in the dark and desolate valley of segregation. They were treated as second-rate citizens. They were inflicted with discrimination, injustice, and oppression. They were captivated as slaves and thrown into narrow cells in their homeland. They were looked down upon as exiles. In short, America had failed to fulfill the constitutional promise made to her citizens of colors. Question number three. Why is 1963, according to Dr. King, not an end but a beginning? A beginning of what? Answer. In 1963, Dr. King stressed the 100 years old verdict of the Negroes. He warned the nation to fulfill the promise made to them in the American Constitution. He warned them not to underestimate their determination. He said, there will be neither rest nor tranquility in America until Negroes is granted his citizen rights. Hence, 1963 was not an end of movement, it was a new beginning. Question number four. What is Dr. King's advice to the black people while marching on the road to the freedom? Dr. King motivated the Negroes, saying, now is the time to rise. But he advised them not to commit wrongful deeds, not to let their struggle turn to violence. He advised them to continue their struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. He advised them to refrain from hatred and distrust of the white who stand by them. The Negroes must not roast them. He said, we cannot walk alone. Question number five. What will did the Negroes be satisfied, not satisfied according to Dr. King. The condition of Negroes across across the country was miserable. Dr. King said, "We can never be satisfied as long as a Negro in Mississippi cannot vote." He demanded basic human rights and justice for the Negroes. He demanded basic mobility to Negroes to move to from a smaller ghetto to a large one. He further said, "We will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like water and righteousness like a majority stream." Question number 6. Dr. King speaks repeatedly of his dream. What is his dream? The Negroes faced injustice, oppression, humiliation, and discrimination, but Dr. King did not lose hope. He had a dream that injustice and oppression would turn into freedom and justice. He had a dream that Negroes, children, and the white children would sit on the table of brotherhood. His dream was deeply rooted in the American dream. He, his dream was too strong to falter, and his determination was too firm to flag. What does Dr. King mean by this? This is the faith with which I return to the South. What faith? Faith in what? Dr. King had an unfasting faith that the future of the Negroes would would change. He knew that the force of faith would work wonders. He returned to South with a faith that the Negroes would dig out a stone of hope from the mountain of despair. This faith would bind them together. Together they would undergo all hardships. He said, "With this faith, we will work together, knowing that we should be free one day." Thanks. Any question?